Saturday night's NRL will see 2 games, not 3, due to the shortened round because of last week's Vegas trip. Now we've got St. George hosting Canterbury and you'll have Manly hosting North Queensland. Before we get into it, you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, give us a like, and let us know what you're going to be tipping in these games, or any game for that matter, or any tip in any sport. Just so you know, coming up on this channel, we'll be having all your NRL, all of your AFL, hoping to get in some soccer and some racing tips in here as well. So hang on tight. Now, let's get into it. Going to give you the 6 tips for Saturday night. We're going favourites to cover in both games. Both of those teams are going to score over their team totals. And then you're going to have Bronson Xerri scoring for Canterbury. And of course, Tommy Turbo at Brookvale for Manly. Now, let's break down the St. George versus Canterbury match right now. So, Saints moving on from the Ben Hunt, Zach Lomax era. Look, they brought in Val Holmes and Gutho, which are 2 big additions to their team. But look, they struggled for consistency last season. They had actually lost 10 of 13 games, 13 plus, which still raises that big question for St. George over the last few years of how is the attitude down there in the Shire. Look, Flano is supposed to sort all of that out. It didn't work last season, moved on from Perth with some players. So let's see what happens, but there's no confidence there. Talk about Canterbury. Look, they were arguably a surprise packet last season, but they were throwing a heap of cash and recruiting hard, so they were expected to do well, but maybe not so much with their, as well as their defense went last season. Look, they were ranked 3rd in the league, conceding just 18.2 points per game. Look, and they were only them and the Panthers conceded less than 4 line breaks on average per game. So their defense was strong, especially at the start of the season, while their attack was not firing as much. But as the season went on, their attack started to click and they scored 20 plus points in 6 of their last 7 matches, which is important because that is their team total in this match. So I like Canterbury to cover at 3.5 point favourites, for them to score over 20.5 points. And also, as I said, Bronson Xerri to score in this game. Look, Xerri has scored 6 tries in his last 4 games against the Saints and scored in 4 of his last 5 games last season. So on the speeds of Xerri to power for Canterbury in that one and get the trifecta there. Now, Manly versus North Queensland. North Queensland also going through a new era, losing Val Holmes to St. George. Also Kyle Felt and Chad Townsend. So not really sure what the Cowboys are going to be this season. A lot of new faces. Look, they somehow finished the season in 5th last year, considering that they dropped out of games very, very heavily. They're not going to be able to do that this season because they don't have the strike power in the backline that they did have last year. They're going up against Manly, who made Brookvale an absolute fortress last season. Manly won 9 of 12 games at home by an average margin of 17.37 points at 4 Pines Park. Look, they scored over their team total of 24.2 points in 9 of 12 games as the home team. And you know that Tommy Turbo is going to be in the thick of it. Tommy Turbo has also an incredible record at Brookvale, scoring 19 tries in 23 games and has scored at least one try in his last 6 matches at the venue. So he's going to be absolutely powering, and Brookie is going to be an absolute fortress in the opening match for the Seagulls. So look for Manly to cover a little bit of a bigger line at 6.5 points against the Cowboys. They need to score over 24.5, which they did in 9 of 12 games last year at Brookvale. And of course, Turbo to score a try. So they're your best tips for NRL Saturday's action. Hang with us on this channel for all the best AFL and NRL tips this season. Now, just remember, gamble responsibly and happy punting.